Hello and welcome. You're tuned into TMH Daily English News. The headlines today: newly uncovered 19th century maps have stripped the Amhara elites of their claims of Western Tigray based on historical maps. The report shows that Tigray in northern Ethiopia is experiencing one of the longest currently ongoing internet shutdowns in the entirety of the world, and the U.S. Secretary of State says his country will make public determination regarding the genocide that's currently ongoing on the people of Tigray. As we move on to the main stories for today, researchers have said that the newly uncovered maps from the 19th century have stripped the Amhara elites of their claims of Western Tigray based on historical maps. Jan Nissen, researcher and professor of the geography at Belgium's Ghent University, said following his researchers' team's uncovering of previously unseen maps of the Horn of Africa from 1849, that currently includes Western Tigray and the Highland Eritrea as Tigray's territories, and he got an even older map to prove this.
I found another map already 1841 by a certain Mr. Wyland, and I don't know if you can see it clearly like that. You see the same contour more or less of Tigray like they write it, but look to my finger. It starts writing Tigray all across the Keze River. So not only the boundary is to both sides of the Keze River, but even the writing of Tigray is to both sides.
Maps, Nissen said that they can help nudge the Amhara expansionists away from their obsession with the historical maps and finally accept a discussion on this real issue.
Basically, from the Amhara nationalistic side, they have been coming with all these old maps. Yeah, and even they didn't want to talk about language. They only wanted to talk about these old maps. And now with all these maps that are coming out with the extent of Tigray in the 19th century, and even their argument about his always historically part of Gondar and so on, it is clear that it is not true. And now we can start, and now we can have the real discussion. Forget about these historical maps. Yeah, take the real situation. Before a month or something, we made an estimate with our team about the number of people who died in the war. 250,000 up to 500,000 of people. I didn't get insults for that. Yeah, so there are people who are more nervous for maps than for 500,000. Potentially 500,000 of people who can die. Yeah, so that's something very, very strange for me.
John Nissen noted that the unfounded claims for territorial claims contributed to the ongoing war and the ethnic cleansing currently that's going on in Western Tigray zone. The Access Now says people of Tigray in northern Ethiopia are currently experiencing the longest currently ongoing internet shutdown in the world. According to a new report from Access Now, a nonprofit tracking internet access globally, the people of Tigray have spent 539 days without any internet connection, and the outage continues till this day. The report revealed that dozens of repressive governments intentionally have shut down their country's internet, and 182 times across 34 countries within the year of 2021 as a way to stop protests or even stifle dissent. This is a significant increase from the numbers from 2020. Keep It On campaign manager at Access Now, Felicia Antonio, said the shutdowns intentionally disrupted not only everyday life, but critical moments in nations and nationals' epic. Authorities shut down the internet to shut down democracy, and that 182 times a leader decided to deliberately silence a people instead of empowering them to speak, she added. The longest internet shutdown occurred in Pakistan, where 4.5 million residents of the federally administered tribal area spent nearly 4 years without any internet access, and the blackout ended in December after starting in 2016. People living in Rakhine State and Minor spent 593 days without internet until February 3rd, 2021, and the residents of Jammu and Kashmir in India spent 551 total days without any internet access. You're currently tuned into TMH Daily English News, and we'll be right back after this short break.
We used to have a family, school, hospital, food, peace and freedom, but now we have none of them. I don't know where my parents are. I really miss my sister. Where is she? I want to know where my dad is. I miss my mom. I don't see my brother. So, people of the world, we are part of you. Please, we need your help. We have a dream. We want to make the world a better place for the people like us. Please, give us your hand. We are Tigray people. We are part of you. Act now.
Welcome back. The U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has said that his country will make a public determination regarding the genocide that's currently ongoing on the people of Tigray. Blinken made the remark replying to the U.S. congressman who asked if the U.S. government is going to make any determination as to whether what happened in Tigray amounted to a so-called genocide. Let's take a listen.
The world focused us on Ukraine, but 500,000 people have died in Tigray. I commend you for your visit to Ukraine. I hope that we pay, if not equal, at least more attention to Tigray. The Ethiopian and Eritrean governments are using starvation as a weapon, and the World Food Program says that 90% of the people there need assistance. Your deputy secretary came to us very late last year and said that a decision had been made to refrain from making a public determination on atrocities and to whether this is genocide. Do you want to, I mean, you got to call them as you see them. Can I count on the State Department for making a public determination? Are there gross human rights abuses, and is there genocide in Tigray?
Blinken promised that his government will in fact make a public determination regarding the genocide of the people of Tigray. Here's the clip of that.
In terms of an actual legal determination of what they are in their nature, we will make that determination.
Thank you.
Congressman Brad Sherman later on wrote on his official Twitter account that the government of Ethiopia and Eritrea are determinedly starving their people. In related news and development, 43 U.S. congressmen said the Tigray crisis continues unsolved only due to the U.S. weak decision-making. The congressmen made the remark in a letter they sent to the U.S. President Joe Biden and the Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. The U.S. congressmen demanded that the U.S. government reach a decision to address the Tigray crisis as a matter of urgency. As we move on to our final update for today, conflict analysts have said that the complex layers of the war in Ethiopia is making peace all the more elusive. Peace and conflict analyst Professor Jatiel Tronvol wrote on an extensive anatomy of Ethiopia's civil war. In the article, he says the civil war that erupted in November of 2020 in the Ethiopian, the northern region of Ethiopia, was a culmination of several overlapping, long-running conflicts. He said the main conflict involves the nature of Ethiopian state, whether it should be a unified structure reflecting a singular national identity or a multi-ethnic federal system preserving autonomy for regional states. Regarding the war on Tigray, Tronvol wrote that no matter who fired the first shot, the build-up to the war had been ongoing for years. As the political cohesion of the central government coalition withered, some international observers have characterized it as the most pre-announced war in recent African history, he noted. And again, according to Tronvol, a confounding element in the Ethiopian war is the involvement of a host of belligerent parties. The key conflict pits the alliance of the Tigray Defense Force and the Oromo Liberation Army against the Ethiopian federal and regional government troops and militias, irregular Amhara militias, and not the least the Eritrean Defense Forces. Tronvol stressed that the border political context is packed with domestic and international tensions, and he also said the declaration of a truce in Tigray in late March has not facilitated the promised, unimpeded humanitarian access. He also concluded that seems unlikely that a substantial solution to the Ethiopian civil war will be reached anytime soon. That concludes our news for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.